In the comic collecting system, there are two groups who are equally important in the collection of the hobby: the collectors who buy the books and the speculators who sell the books to the collectors. These are their stories. Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. I'm glad you could join us tonight, hopefully, because, well, hi, K Munin. We were just talking about you. I would like to introduce tonight my guest for the evening, Mr. Lyle Hopson.
Lyle. Hi, everybody. How's everybody tonight?
Well, good. So far, JSS and K Munin seem to be okay. Tonight, we're not going to go with my normal format. We are going to spend the next hour looking over the fantastic collection of Lyle. Lyle has, hi, Steve. How are you? Lyle has one of the biggest collections that I've seen pieces from. So he agreed to come on tonight and show us some of the books, a representation of the books that are from his collection. So instead of our usual games and stuff, we are going to hi BBB, and yes, K Munin, it was in a very positive light. In fact, yes. Are you ready, Lyle? We've got something for you. Ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Let's go. This is just for you.
Yes, there you go. All for you, K Munin.
Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show. All right. So, Lyle, before we get completely started, in case some of our viewers didn't see our previous video together, why don't you give a quick little origin story? What made you into comic books?
Well, I got into comic books in the late 60s. I was originally from northern Quebec, and the literature at the time was hard to find in English, so I had relatives that would either go to Ontario or the United States when they were on holidays, and they would come back with comic books at the of the time, the Silver Age, and I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, and they weren't going to be picking things up of horror or anything like that. So it was like Casper, Little Devil, Archie's, which a lot of those old books from the time I still have. So, and then it just snowballed to the collection that I have now.
Yeah, how large would you say your collection is now?
It's just shy of 100,000.
Very impressive.
I got quite a bit. It takes up a lot of space. Let me tell you. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, and when you're a private collector of sorts, because I'm not hanging around with a lot of people around here, and having coffee and talking about comic books, they all think there's something wrong with you if you're collecting comic books at my age.
I don't think so. There's a good chunk of golden age collectors, and people of higher end comics are people of your age, because that is the age for the majority of the people that they have the disposable income for this kind of stuff. Right. I'm still at that, at least mentally, I'm still at the $35 to $40 is just enough to pay for a book. Above that,
I do the same. I do the same thing, because if I'm online, like I'm retired now, so you have to put up, you have to come up with something to do. And there's a lot of collectors out there looking for things. So if, I have a time to look for this stuff, then I will. Because, I'm just about helping any collector that's, a polite collector, because I've had collectors that are not so polite. So I just, to hell with it.
There is a reason that people have called you the man that can find things. That is actually how I heard about you for the first time. Alan told me that you were somebody to contact if I was ever looking for certain books, because you seem to have a knack for finding them. And I think that's awesome. So what I'm going to do now, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll wait.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make you big on the screen, and let's give the people what they want. Let's show them some books.
Okay, well, I dug out 25 or 30 of them, but if there's anybody out there that would like to see more, I've got 40 boxes behind me here. I can always whip one around and have a look.
They're long boxes, aren't they?
There's a few back there that are short boxes, but when you got as many boxes as I have, it it's getting heavier as time progresses because I mean I'm not getting any younger, and with the new books today, the long boxes weigh 100 pounds. It's not that
Yeah,
pleasant
I
to
know.
be
That's why I only have short boxes.
hauling
Lot
them around all the time, right? So
K
anyway,
Munin, just a second. We have a question. K Munin would like to know what was the hardest comic to find for you.
well, I'm waiting for one in the mail now, and which I will disclose when our postal strike is over and I get it, because I was going to show everybody what it is. But the hardest comic book I was looking for was it was a detective comic, I think number 90. It was, I mean, it took me a long time to find it. I mean, I was working and I wasn't online as much as I am now, where, I
Right.
mean, I could spend 4 or 5 hours a day, if that, looking for stuff. And, but when I was working and just, being, online for an hour, so it didn't give me enough time to find anything. So that was the early Superman stuff from like 1939 to 1952. That stuff is impossible to find. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
hard to it's not hard to find. It's hard to find it at a reasonable cost because everybody's out there to make the almighty dollar.
yes,
And
I've seen Superman 7 and 8, but they wanted
yeah,
$1,200 Canadian for both of them, like each. Like
yeah.
it
And
was a little
our
much.
dollar is not worth anything. When you got 70 cents as your buying power, it's the price is through the roof.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to break my bank because I'm thinking one day I can't buy an Action Comic number 50 because with so many of the baby boomers that are passing away, and people are not familiar with comic books. As we all know, you'll hear the story, oh, people had a big collection and they threw everything in the dump. I mean, or a refuse pile, or had a bonfire in the backyard. That happens. I mean, I've seen it. It's ridiculous. So I try to buy these books off of people. If I hear that they have a collection, I'll drive that extra mile and buy it just
Right.
to save them. Right. So
Yes, which is pretty cool.
right.
I think at heart we're all. I mean, apart from the fact that we're all hoarders at heart, we also feel
Yeah.
all feel that need to protect them. That's
Well,
why we all
well,
battle
that's
back
right.
and forth.
That's right. And when I started collecting them, I never had any idea that I was going to get this many. And say you'd say to yourself, "Well, I'm going to get up to 1,000," and all, before you know it, your count is 1750, and so, well, okay, well, let's do 3,500 or 5,000 or 8,000 or whatever, and all of a sudden you're doing the count one day and you're at 40,000, and you're like, well, where did this
I
happen?
know, and
you
not
know
in my boxes. There's not a single duplicate.
right.
There's
Well,
there's some
I have a few.
variant cover duplicates, but none are not. There's no twos. Steve
Right.
Driscoll is asking, what's the luckiest find in the dollar bins?
The luckiest one that I ever found, I would say, just as we were getting over COVID, was Detective Comics number 79. A guy had it in the dollar bin area, and I picked it up and I went, "What's this doing in the dollar bin?" And he's like, "Oh, some people, they want the new stuff. They don't want the old stuff. They don't understand the old stuff." I said, "It's a comic book. Why would you throw Detective Comics number 79 in a dollar bin?" I said, "Well, what do you want for it?" He says, "Well, if you give me $75, you can have it." And I just like, I better try and keep a straight face here and buy it and get the hell out of the store before he changes his mind. So yeah, I got that, and because I was trying to complete the detective run, because when you have from, let's say, issue 65 or 68 all the way to, I think, what is it now, 1,087 or something, then if you're missing the odd, I mean, if you have a book and the condition's not all that great and you want to upgrade it, then that's what I was doing. I was looking for stuff for myself.
Hmm.
And then when I saw Alan or Mr. Gentner's books and whatnot, and they were saying they were looking for things, I'm like, well, I get online and I check the sites that I check, and then I would send them the link and then carry
Nice.
on. Right. So,
Yes, you've done that for me too,
yeah, I have.
which is appreciated.
I do
Which is
that with a lot of
appreciated.
people.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
K Munin has one more question here, and then we'll get to the books. K Munin asks, "Do either of you recommend long or short boxes?" If you don't mind, I'll answer first. K
Okay, go ahead.
Munin, it depends on your. Honestly, it depends on your fitness and your space, because I cannot physically lift a long box. So
No.
short boxes are the only way I can go at this point.
Yeah. So short boxes for me, our LCS has had sales on their short boxes, which I've started to buy in the last couple of months, because these long boxes, like a collector friend of mine that lives a couple of 100 miles from my place, he was going from long boxes to short boxes, and he had 30 or 40 long boxes that were empty. I said, oh, I'll take them. And a majority of them are behind me are all long boxes. Like when I was looking for stuff for tonight, you're yanking them out and
Yeah,
moving them around, and who needs to go to the gym? Right.
exactly.
Right.
Okay.
All
So I
right.
hope that helps you, K Munin. So Lyle, let's get back to the books.
Okay. Well, like the first one I dug out here is from 1970s Adam Strange Adventures.
Oh, that's a good one. I've
Right.
seen that one before. I
Pardon me for the
particularly
glare.
I
Yeah,
love the fact that that says 1990 and we're 2024.
yeah, I like that. And yeah, this one's from 1970, number 223, and suppose it's a reprint because these small characters on the cover are the Atomic Knights.
Oh, I yes, of course.
Right?
I know who they are. They're an interesting group too. I
Yeah,
should have guessed that from the fact it was Washington 1990.
yeah,
I was thinking to
and
myself, did Adam Strange break the time barrier?
yeah. Well, when I saw it 1990, I'm like, oh, that never happened. So this next one here is Battle Heroes. This is a Stanley Publications. It's a reprint from the comic Battle Cry from number 6, 1952. This one is volume 1, number 1 from 1966. I have my crib notes in the back because this is not something I'm going to memorize.
Yeah.
There's-
So what company is that?
This one is Stanley Publications.
Nice.
Yeah. And it says, when I was looking it up, because I rebagged everything, because Stephen was saying that we had to rebag them because they were all crinkly on
Yeah.
the screen. So they were
Well,
saying that these.
you get used to doing it with a few. It takes a little practice.
Well, I did that last night, knowing I was going to be on your show. So, and this one's hard to find, and this one here is also out of print. I haven't seen very many of these out and about. I mean, they are available and they're not that expensive. So this one you'll probably like, Black Magic number
Oh, Black
one.
Magic. That's another good series.
Yeah.
I don't have that, but I know Alan does because I saw it at his place.
Oh yeah, this one's from 1973. It's a DC comic. Yeah. And so if you hear that tap, tap, tap in the background, I apologize. My wife is still working, so she works from
That's
home
fine. I can't
today
hear it.
anyway, in case somebody's wondering what all that clack, clack, clack is. Well, hey, this one here is called The Bouncer. This is a Golden Age.
Yeah, what company?
This one is from Fox.
Fox. Okay, that's
Fox.
cool. I
And
haven't seen a lot of Fox
oh,
because
just a minute.
even the guys don't
Yeah,
show
Fox.
many of them.
And this one here is number 12 from 1944. What they did with this. It was in this run the series started at number 11 and it went to 14, but they had an issue before. The series went from 1944 to 45, but they had one issue that came out with no number because they thought it was going to be a continuation of the comic called Green Mask, but that never happened. And
Hello,
because
baby.
yeah,
Oh, He's made it. Steven's in the chat.
Because the bouncer is the first comic book character created by Robert Kanigher.
Yes, and he was actually added to the comic book the
two of
Overstreet
these.
Hall of Fame this year.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And I've only got two. I haven't found many of these, but they on the CGC they claim that it's scarce, but it is from 1944. But
That's that's an amazing collection so far.
so this one here is probably up your alley here, but I thought I'd dig it out and show it to you.
Oh yes, okay.
You
I
probably
have
already
that.
have that, right?
Yes, I have that. I have the entire run of DC Comics Presents.
Yeah, this one's from 1983. It's, well, not that old, but
No.
might be old for other people. Not old for me.
Are you looking to join us, Stephen? Just a second. Keep going. I'm going to send an invite to Stephen.
Okay, this one here, the Great Gazoo. I thought I'd add some, mix it all up because I wasn't sure what everybody wanted to see tonight. So this one here is number 2 from 1973. But the first appearance of the Great Gazoo was October 29th, 1965. And it was voiced by Harvey Korman, who was a character actor that played on the Carol Burnett Show.
Yeah, he's one of the best comedians I've ever seen.
Yeah, he let's see here. Yeah, he passed away in 2008. So this one here is Flying Saucers.
Oh, that's a nice. What year? What company? What year?
This is Dell.
Okay.
And this is number 1, 1967. They did 5 issues, but number 5 is the same cover, but it's a 15-cent issue, not 12.
Very nice.
Yeah. I like the UFO and the space aliens and all that stuff.
I found things a little confusing as a guy just getting into Dell about the fact that around 68, 69, when the 12 cent became 15 cent, and there were a lot of issues out with both prices on them. Because at one point I had a Walt Disney's Comic and Stories where I had both the 12 and the 15 cent. And I was thinking, was that a Canadian variant? But no, it was just a price variant.
Just a price variant. Like that one there, I have the number 5. I have the number 5 of this one. It's the same cover, except it's 15 cents instead of 12. So, all right. So this one here, from Beyond the Unknown.
Awesome.
This one's number 3 from 1970. It's Neil Adams art.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. These bubbleheads, astronauts and sci-fi stuff. I like that kind of stuff. You probably have this one too. Ghosts.
Just a sec here. Let me take a quick look. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I just sent the link, Biggie, in our.
So this is number 1 from 1971.
I don't have that one in floppy, but I do have it in a collection.
Yeah, it's not that easy to find. You probably have this one as well, Valley of the Dinosaurs.
No, I don't have that one. I don't have a lot of Charlton. I know a lot about Charlton.
Oh.
I've done a lot of research on them, but I haven't really been able to find a lot of the books that I wanted. Okay,
right.
So welcome, Captain Strangelight, and we've got a visitor. Adding to the stage, Mr. Stephen Gentner.
Turn out the lights and call the law.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Let's have a French conversation and see how well that goes.
It won't go on. Coupe de Ville, French fries.
Yeah. Yes. Chevrolet Coupe.
Chevrolet Coupe. Oh, lucky. He is a lucky man. Pierre does not scare. So there.
Well, how you doing tonight, Mr. Gentner?
You look very well coiffed, Big Lyle.
Well, I started at an hour before all this started. I had to get
Just to get it just right. Just get that.
Well,
I
move on.
actually shaved tonight, so
Hey, I really appreciate it. You got when you I see that your daughter finally gave up on the wonderful beard, or did you?
no, she decided she didn't like it. I went to her and I said, "Listen, it's getting itchy. Do you want me to keep it?" She touched it and went, "No."
Well, one way my father, when he got his longer, what he'll do is he would rub his whiskers against my face.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was like sandpaper. He says, "What do you think?" I said, "Dad, shave, please. And please call a medic."
Yes. It used to burn.
Oh, it burns, baby. It burns.
Right.
I'm liking. Go ahead, show your books. I'm enjoying this tremendously.
I'm going
Okay,
to show.
well,
I'm going to make Big Lyle big
Oh.
show again.
So anyway, I showed this earlier, but I'll give a little bit more information on it. That's number one from 1975 from Charlton. And the cover art was by a gentleman named Fred Himes, Himes.
It's very nice. I mean, for that
I like it.
time period, it's got the very cartoony, like as in Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes, exactly.
Type cover.
Well, yeah,
And
Hanna-Barbera, right?
It very much smacks of Hanna-Barbera, totally.
Well, I was going to say, it was it a cartoon?
Yes, it
Was
was.
early?
So
Okay.
with these, Stephen might know this as well, but with these Charlton, you see, well, this little star that's here, that means that it was on the army bases in the U.S.
Now, I believe that the star on those, usually they were stamped. I don't know if Charlton would print books with stars on them. Generally, it was a star stamp that they applied at the PX.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, the star means something. If that's what it means, that meant they had a whole run that was dedicated to the military.
That's right. Because
now let's get Big Lyle on that and have him answer that question later on.
Well, the star was supposedly through Charlton was a resemblance to the United States Air Force, and they had that similar star design on their planes, and so they kept it. They figured, well, they'll use that insignia on their comic books and for the military, because I have this issue with no star on it. I didn't. Well, of course, I wasn't thinking about digging that one out either, but
I saw you had some Golden Age stuff that was very interesting that you showed.
Oh yeah, well, there was just a few issues, but I've got some more coming through here. But I got a whole box full back here just in case that you wanted to see some.
What a shame! Let's go.
Well, I have a couple of stacks to go through here first. All right, so this one here, House of Mystery.
Now that is cool.
Get my paws off of it.
I really like the run of House of Mystery with the Martian Manhunter. I thought
started with number 143.
Yeah, this one's 1940. Never mind. The number 148 from 1965, but it does have a subscription crease in the front. I don't know if you can pick that up there on this.
Yeah, I can see that when you hold it at a certain angle.
It came into House of Mystery after Detective Comics 326.
Right.
Yes,
that's right.
They kicked him out of the book. Yeah.
So this one here is this one here is a special book. This is the first appearance of the Tasmanian Devil and his this was volume 1, number 1 from 1962 for Gold Key.
Don't forget his tasty friends.
And his tasty friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one here and this one here is.
Now, I know that Stephen would like this one.
Yeah, this was from 1958. There's a little bit of water damage on the cover here. I noticed it, but I mean they're not in the best of shape. But when a collector friend of mine sent me the link that this one and the one I had just shown, And another one, The Three Little Pigs. There was nothing. It was just a regular issue. It wasn't a guest appearance or special appearance of anything. But all three came up to just a tad over $30. I was in a bit of a pickle that the seller wasn't shipping to Canada, so I got in touch with a friend of mine in the United States to see if he could pick it up, and then I would pay him back. But it ended up being an early Christmas present of sorts.
I wonder who that friend is.
It was
nobody I know. I can tell you that right now.
I phoned them because I'm not going to just assume that somebody is going to buy it. So I figured I would get a hold of this gentleman and let him know what was going on, and I was trying to figure out how to send a payment, because I mean, I'm not that computer savvy where I'm going to e-transfer everybody and their dog. And so they said not to worry about it, but I'm not worried about it, but I am looking for something special to send you. So I'm on the hunt.
We've got another guest.
I'm certain that the person that you're talking about, that is absolutely not necessary. Truly and completely. It's don't do that.
I went to the bank. Today.
Mr. Biggie Shack is coming.
So who did that cover? Was that Cardi? I'm not sure.
Oh yes.
You remember? Cardi, right?
The table is only so long. Yeah, this one here is what I had.
And the nights are so long too.
Oh, they are. Yes. So
I think that's Cardi, but what do I know? I'm just guessing. I don't like looking stuff up.
It is Cardi.
It is good.
It is Cardi. Yeah. So when I was first asked to do this program tonight, I had racked my brains for trivia questions, but I was going to use this book for the trivia.
Mike Royer.
And yeah. And this one here, my wife had spotted it online a few years ago, and I wasn't aware that she had such a keen eye, because this is like a 9.6. And so when I got it for Christmas, I just where did you find it at such a high? Oh, she says, I listen to you chit chat and everything else. She says, if you think I'm not listening, I am. And I did a hunt for it, and I found it. I think, well, I was very, very pleased with it, because I mean, it is really in nice condition.
It really is a nice one.
I mean, it's from 1974, but
wasn't that one of Kirby? Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't that one of the ones that Kirby brought back? He didn't quite bring the original Sandman back. But
yes. Yeah, it is. Because I was going to fire off some questions at you, Matt, to see if you knew the answers, but I figured, well, we're not going to do that now.
No, go ahead. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
you know what? Go ahead.
Okay, so I have one question for you about this Sandman book, and see if you know the knowledge. Which issue did Sandman become an honorary member of the Justice League?
Oh, geez, I know this. I'd like to think it's issue 4, but I'm only half confident in that answer.
Okay, well, it was Justice League of America Annual #1 from 1983.
Okay, so it was a Justice League book. Okay, impressive.
Yeah, so here's another one. Why did Sandman decline a full membership?
He didn't want to interfere with the life that he had going at the time. He wanted to stay in the city he was in, and didn't want to take away from that.
He says that because he couldn't leave the dream dimension.
Yeah, which is where he's from.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
And in what issue was it revealed that Sandman had gone insane due to the loneliness of the dream dimension and committed suicide?
Is this that? Okay.
That was his last issue.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the last issue.
Yeah.
And wasn't that issue 12?
It says here that it was in Infinity Inc. #50 in May of 1988. Anyway, that was just the trivia that I gathered a few days ago with that. I mean, I was learning it as well.
1988, was it that Sandman or the Sandman that Neil Gaiman brought back?
A Sandman. Oh, it was after 1988, wasn't it?
Could have been 80. Yeah, it could have been 89. It could have been where. I'm not that familiar with the Vertigo stuff. So
okay.
Anyway,
so,
you stumped me, and I'm impressed. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased.
I learned something as well. I'm thinking, oh, well, let's do some questions here, because if you fire off a question and I don't have my crib notes, I forget it.
Well, I didn't prepare any questions tonight because, as I said, we were going to go with a different format. So
yeah,
please keep showing books. They seem to be making a nice hit.
There, House of Secrets. This was 1961. Pardon?
No, I'm reading the Beware the Guardian Beast off the cover there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who did Mark Merlin turn into?
Who are you asking?
You.
No, I have no idea.
He turned into Prince Rawman.
Oh,
really?
That sounds familiar. Yes.
Mark Merlin basically went into a dimension, and a prince who was in the other dimension, it's 1-to-1, he came back to Earth with his powers, and then he took over in the title with Eclipso.
I like what JSS said, because he had sand in his swimsuit.
Absolutely. That's the only possible answer.
All right. Do you have this one, Matt?
No, I don't have any Luke Cage yet.
This is number 1 from 1976.
I'm waiting for a package.
This one here is the first appearance of Amanda and Samantha Sheridan, and an early Punisher cameo. So I saw this online today on eBay. Some person had it on for $700. I never paid anywhere near that.
That's amazing. $700.
All right. So this one here, Sea Devils Showcase.
Oh, yes.
20,
what's the what? Sorry, number
28.
28. Yes, that is a good. I like the Sea Devils.
Russ,
I've read those.
This one here is a second appearance of the Sea Devils. This one's from 1960, and the artist is Russ Heath. I like it.
Yeah, Russ Heath. I find Russ Heath doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
No.
It's not that he's a great artist. It's just there's so many other great artists around him that everybody forgets Russ Heath.
Yeah. And then we got Showcase 27. This is the first appearance of the Sea Devils.
Yeah, the Golden Monster. That one I've read a couple times. So that's
another great tone.
Yes, great tone for sure. They did quite a few around that time, even like with the GI Combat stuff. There was a lot of great tone covers in that as well.
Yes, sir.
So this is again Charlton. This one, Space Adventure. This one's from 1968.
An Explosive Tale About Time.
Number 2, this is Steve Ditko. So
Steve Ditko, he did quite a bit of work for Charlton, but he never seemed to stay on any book very long once he was done with Captain Atom and Mr. A, I guess it was.
Yeah.
What would you say that his best book from Charlton was?
Captain Atom, for sure. Blue Beetle's a close second, and The Question has to be third.
Yeah, The Question's pretty good.
I'm sorry, you were asking Lyle. I apologize. Yeah. I'll keep my mouth buttoned.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that, Stephen. You're a guest.
We always end up under the lemon tree. That's how it is. Anyway, this is Star Spangled War Stories. This one's issue 132 from 1967. I love these dinosaur covers.
Steve Driscoll's wondering if you got Captain America covers.
Right. This is the last dinosaur story.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, this was from 1968. Russ Heath, Joe Kubert.
There we go, Biggie, your man, Joe.
Yeah. Here. I dug this one out. This is a rare Canadian edition from 1982, Marvel Movie Showcase.
Ah, yes. Very
Yeah, they
nice.
did only two, number one, number two. I have both, but I dug this one out because it's they're hard to find. The newsstand, especially the Canadian variants, they're really tough. And I put them in one of those, really shiny covers that Stephen
Mylar?
was talking about the other day.
See, Stephen and Biggie, I will tell you this much. You guys wouldn't have had the same problem per se because you're not in Canada. But Marvel trying to determine the Canadian price variant and stuff is so difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
You got it takes a lot of research. Okay.
Superman Annual number 1, 1964.
Now that is
You got a beautiful date stamp on the cover by upper left.
I see that there. Here. Yeah, somebody stamped it June 4th, 1964.
That's when it came out.
Yeah. Well, they could have stamped it on the back.
Sometimes they did, but most of the time, and frankly, that doesn't bother me. I like that. As long as it's not over their face, that's all.
Right. Strange Adventures. This was a Carmine Infantino and Gil Kane, 1958, number 99.
I wonder who's the penciler and who's the inker. Probably Infantino was the penciler, I'm guessing, eh? Yeah. Infantino didn't do much inking, but I know Gil Kane did a lot of his own.
Here. You're going to like this one, Matt. Do you have it?
What's a Neil Anderson or Neil Adams?
It's definitely on my soon-to-get list.
Yeah, this one here, pardon me, I only paid a couple of dollars for it. And our guest that joined us, they're not Stephen. What's Biggie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you got a Sentai 5. Look at you.
Yeah, as soon as you showed it there a few weeks ago, I found one and I bought it. So volume 1, number 5.
That's the first unofficial Mothra.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Early Power Rangers. Yeah, from 1994. I was happy when I found it. Like I said, I only paid probably $10 or $12 for it.
Yeah. Spider-Man cameo too.
Pardon me. So this one here, I bought because it was rare, and it's an oddball one. It's called The Highly Unlikely Adventures of Mighty Guy.
Okay, that is hilarious.
So this one here is number 1 from 1987. It's an origin issue, and the art was done by a gentleman named Tim Corrigan, and he passed away in 2015.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I just picture The Amazing Adventures of Mighty Guy.
Yes, there was. I think there was either 5 or 7 issues to the set. But when I saw that the creator had passed away, I think, well, maybe it's got a little bit of value. It doesn't sell for a lot, but I liked it and I picked it up. And then there was this other one here that was, supposedly is really hard to find. It's called Chuck Morris, the Karate Cat.
Okay, that is hilarious. If you're still out there, Nate, I think we have another character we're going to have to get.
Yeah. And but the comic is called Launch, number 1. This one's from 1987. And it was supposedly done by a fella named Sparky Moore. And it's ultra rare. They say it's ultra rare, but there's a few online, and this one was like $7 or $8. It wasn't very much.
Well, it can be ultra rare, and if there's no demand, it's not going to go up that much.
So when Mark he did a video not long ago from Suddenly Comics, said he had went to an auction and found quite a few. There were 2 British magazines, like newsprint comics that he had, and so I texted him. I said, well, if you're not going to keep them and put them in your collection, I'd like to buy them. So again, he's another one of these collectors. He packed it up and sent it to me and said, this is an early Christmas present. So this one here he said it was very rare. It's called Terrific. And this one's number 2.
Is the missile launcher inside? Iron Man's missile launcher? Is it inside?
It is. It's complete.
That is really cool.
This was from 1967. They did this set called Terrific. It was from Power Comics.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not the Iron Man we know.
Well, it looks like Namor.
It is Namor.
Oh, really? Is it? Is that a Marvel book?
Well, it's by a company called Power Comics. It's number 2.
Oh, that's right. It's English. I apologize.
Yeah, no worries. They did 43 issues of this, but it's very rare. But when I saw that Namor was on it, I'm thinking, oh wow, this is interesting.
And the heap or man thing behind him.
Right. Yeah, it's very nice.
Steve Driscoll thinks it's Groot, so
Yeah, I like that. You know me and my British comics.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was the other one. This one it's Valiant, but you know, an undersea shot. This one that was done by Brian Bolland was the artist on this cover.
Mm-hmm.
The UK one. This one's from 1980. So
it seems that every time there's an octopus, he's attacking everybody.
Yeah, well, you know.
Alan put one up today on Instagram that was an octopus attacking people too.
How about this one?
Oh, very nice.
I love Iron Man's armor in that with the sharp edges on his mask.
Yeah, see? You can see his got corners on his mask.
He stopped doing that when he kept getting cuts every time he took off the
this one here is Origin of the Watcher, second appearance of Black Widow. This one's from 1964. You have this one, Stephen?
I do indeed, sir.
Yeah, I thought so. See? How about this one? You got this one, Matt?
I think I do, actually. I'd have to check.
This one's from 1974. Yeah, when you look at
8 or 9 issues of that series, so
like here it says Gold Key, but on the indicia says it's Dell/Gold Key.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the TV show as well with his version.
Yeah.
You know, Rod Serling. You know that. Did you notice? If you've seen a lot of the episodes of Twilight Zone, he does Northern New York because he was born just outside of Syracuse. So he does everything. That's why everything is like Schenectady or like when he was writing stories, he just wrote all the cities nearby that he knew. It was pretty cool.
Well, I'm being beckoned from a pal. I appreciate hanging out with you, Lyle. It was really fun getting to see some of your books, man.
Thank you very much for joining.
I love obscure books, dude. I didn't recognize half of those, so you're doing something good, bro. I'll catch y'all later, man.
Take care.
All right.
Buddy.
Thanks,
Thank
Big.
you. So I'm going to show you something that I picked this up in 1991. It's not old at all. So they've got this one here, Spectacular Spider-Man, annual number 11 from 1991. So everybody memorize this comic. Just memorize the picture because I can't hold them both up. And I bought this one, and the one that was behind it was missing ink.
Nice.
Yeah, even Iron Man and Spider-Man.
The old Golden Age ones where they're missing the red ink and it becomes orange.
Yeah.
Sort of similar to how Steven would go twinsies with Alan, but Alan had an orange one and Steven had a red one.
Maybe I can do it. There, you see?
Speaking of Alan, look who's made it. Hi, Alan.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Hello, Alan.
Is it too loud, honey? Did he make
it? You have a box. You said you had a box of Golden Age books, you said?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. You said you had a big box of books, or is that what you're pulling out of?
Right here behind me, if you want to see some.
Yeah, you said you had some Golden Age. Let's go. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm playing through on you.
That's fine. You go ahead. I brought Lyle on because Lyle has an amazing collection. So,
well, you know,
Alan, I just sent you a link.
There's a lot of stuff, so I wasn't sure what everybody wanted to see. But hang on a sec here.
Well, if you say Golden Age, my antenna goes up.
Okay. Well, I don't want to know that. How about this one, Tim Holt?
I like Tim Holt.
Tim Holt.
Number 37 from 1953.
Who showed the Tim Holt? Just Alan, I sent you a link in Instagram.
This one's in bad shape, but
Who just showed Tim Holt online? Was it you, Stephen?
Yes.
Or was it Alan? Okay.
I showed one, yeah, and it was like with the gal, Dragon Lady or whatever it was, the gal. Yeah.
Teenage Romance. This is St. John's publication
Yes, sir.
from 1952. Do you have that one, Steve?
I don't have that one. Lyle, if you take a look at that book, do
Yeah.
you see their logo? Can you tell what the logo is behind where it says St. John?
I can't see it.
It's an eagle.
Yes. Oh, yes. There.
Very nice.
Yeah, it is. Looked like a pigeon right there.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was either a donut or an eagle. I couldn't make up my mind.
Okay, so this is Superman, but this is from Australia.
I love the colors.
Oh yeah, it's got the 6D on it. That's cool. So it really is older.
Yeah. Well, this one's from 1954, right on the
Wow.
border. It's done from a company called Gale, Gale, Gale Polden Limited, from Australia.
Very
And
cool.
this one's number 73.
Is that a Wayne
so-
Boring? Is that a Wayne Boring cover?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Probably
Yeah, I
stamped
like
on
those.
on the inks.
Well, this one here, it's I don't know if it's been trimmed or what the heck happened to it, but it's Super Magician.
Very nice.
This one's volume 4, number 8. This is the last issue. It's been miscut for some reason. It's probably
That's
been
the
trimmed,
one thing
but it looks
That's
like,
one thing now.
or it's been miscut because you can see where the 10 cents is, how it's really
It's just miswrap. That's all.
right.
Mhm.
That's what it is. I was looking for the terminology. Thanks, Stephen.
Miswrapped. Don't you have
Superboy.
the cover with miswrap on it? Okay, Superboy. Oh, great. What number's that one? I don't have.
45. Number 45 from 1955.
Yeah, that's a little older than the ones that I think I start in. I think I've got one in the 70s, and that's
Strange Worlds.
Fighting War Stories. Strange.
Fighting
World.
War Stories, Strange Worlds, and Avon. That's bizarre. I like
This
the
is a-
tank. Who are the
Wally Wood.
Who's the team that's there on the cover?
It's Koreans. And it's a Wally Wood art.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah. This one's from 1955.
Just after the Korean War.
Yeah. This one?
Very cool. Strange Journey.
Very
That's
cool.
an amazing title. I have one. It's a gal that's on an iceberg waiting for the Titanic, and she's
Oh.
like a siren with them coming in. Come to me.
Yeah,
Sort of.
this one was from 1957. Now, this is not a golden age, but I like the cover.
Great Strange Adventures.
Oh well, that's yeah, that's in the Silver Age. That's pretty much the
Yeah,
end of the
it's
10-cent era. Right?
1961. Yeah, I just thought I'd show that.
There's
not in
nothing
any
wrong. Any books you
particular
want to
order.
order.
Straight Arrow.
Straight Arrow.
This one's from 1955.
Yeah, and this one looks like for unusual for the era. It looks like it's drawn with some respect.
Well, the artist is it's either Meager or Meagin because the last letter is cut off. And I'm not familiar with who that is. How about this one, eh? This has no staples. It came with no staples. It was never stapled. No staples.
I've had books like that, and they always have lovely spines because there's no stress from the staples going through when you try to open them.
That would be true, but at the same time, are you certain that they're complete books? Because it would be easy to lose a wrap.
There. Oh.
True Comics. What's the number on that one?
This was number 70 from 1948.
Wow.
The script writers, they say it was Gary Cooper, but I'm not thinking it's the actor.
I don't think it's the
I
same
don't think
one.
it's the same guy
Right.
either. First of all, I don't think Gary Cooper was his real name.
No.
So
And
I
then there's this one here, True Comics. Apologize for the glare. This one's number 72 from 1948, but it's got a Jackie Robinson story in it, and a Joe DiMaggio ad, and a Bob Feller story. So it's all,
a baseball story, impressive.
yeah. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. There. This one's not a golden age, but Stephen probably has that one.
I
Well,
do not, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's a
We have
great
another
film.
guest.
Hi, Alan.
Hey.
Uh-oh, there's the boss. Okay, I gotta go now. See you later.
Hi.
You just keep on going. I'm just here to watch.
Okay, so again, this is my second copy of The Bouncer from 1944.
Very
That's
nice
awesome.
book.
Yeah, I have two of them. I didn't realize it was in the same pile there. That's not.
I
Let's
think I have
face it.
Bouncer
You
number
really
1,
wanted to
but
show
not
that
that
one.
What's that? Sorry.
You really wanted to show that one if you put it in twice.
Oh no. Okay, Tom Mix,
Okay.
number 2, 1948.
Nice.
It was cheap. I got it for like $4. Well, I figured I might as well pick it up. Do you know anything about these, Stephen? These is Terry and the Pirates. This one's a Popped Wheat promo giveaway from 1938.
The licensing that was done with Terry and the Pirates and Steve Canyon and those sorts of things, the cereal companies and others would basically use that as an advertising thing, and also as a come on to buy their products. And Fawcett was very famous for doing that. Who put out that book? Is that a let's see, Terry and the Pirates? I would assume that's Milton Caniff.
Well, it does. All it says at the very bottom is called Chicago Tribune, New York News Syndicate Incorporated.
Okay,
Yeah,
well then
reprints.
it's basically they own the rights to Terry and the Pirates.
Yeah. This was a Canadian variant. Do you have that one, Alan?
No, I don't. That's very cool.
Love at first sight.
Ace Comics.
My question is, he's looking at her. So he's got the love at first sight, but she's looking at the camera. Is that who she loves?
Oh, it could be the person's taking the picture.
That is true. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that one was from 1953.
A good year.
Oh yes, I forgot. I should have mentioned that.
I'll have to take your word for it.
This one's from 1955, number 2.
EC.
Yep. EC.
Now is that one of the new direction? No, that was before the new direction, right?
Now look at the size of the stamp.
That's 56, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was new direction. So that's too bad. In the sense that one thing I hate is the way they went after EC. I'm so glad he was able to do Mad.
Yeah.
I showed this comic before, this one here, and I don't know if you picked it up, Alan, but it's the first appearance of Lady Leatherneck.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's this one's number 63 from August of 1947.
I
I know.
pick that one up. I'll have to look
Yeah,
for it.
it's not expensive. I paid less than $10 for it.
Okay.
I would agree with you, K Munin, but the fact is, back then they had to do it that big to show, look, we're part of this too.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a Canadian variant.
Oh, nice. I like the alley oops. That's a Schomburg, isn't it?
You'll have
Yeah.
to see it. Is it signed Schomburg?
Yes. Oh well, let's see
It's
here
probably
now.
signed Zila or something.
You could tell it's the Canadian version because you have to pronounce oop like
Oop.
oop, exactly.
So it says it was extremely scarce. This one's from 1948. It's number 14.
Great cover.
I love it. I picked this up at Hip Comics for less than $20.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Like, see, Alan has shown me one thing I can say about going to shows with Alan is that he has shown me a way to get Golden Age books reasonably cheap. And I'm very and I'm very grateful for that, because I've been able to pick up some of these Dells that I like, the early Daffies, for example, and a couple of other books. I got some Daredevil from Lev Gleason for like $10, $15 a piece. And I mean, now I have you here showing me, I got this for like $8 and $10. I want our audience out there, because I know some of you have said on a couple of occasions, how do I get into the Golden Age? It seems to be so expensive. Well, these guys are here to tell you that it's not always that expensive. And I can honestly say, as somebody who's let it, you can find, like, Alan found the first appearance of Wendy the Witch
for $20.
And I got the Daredevils for $20.
Yeah.
So
the two methods that I recommend is carry like an onion in your pocket. And then when you're going to go get the book, what you do is you just turn around, put the onion near your eyes, and then you're like, just like, tears are streaming down your face, and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't afford it. Oh, can you do better on the price? And then they'll give you a better
You remember
price.
this one, Alan? This is that big search we did for the first appearance of Sad Sack.
Yeah, Sad Sack.
Brian,
Yeah, I have that
welcome to
now
the
because
show.
of you.
Yes. Well, it took a lot of digging. So this one is number 55 from
But then
1946.
you told me that that's not truly the first appearance, because we
Well,
had to get that UK
that's
variant of Yank.
It's the first appearance in this title,
Yeah.
right? But then when I was looking at it, I'm thinking, no, we're both wrong. What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite the search, let me tell you. Because when you showed me the Yank Army Weekly, and you said, "Oh, this is the first appearance," I'm thinking, well, that's a great cover, but it's not. I said, I got one here from a week before. It was the UK one, so I had bought
It's
it.
weird that there's a UK one earlier.
Yeah, before I bought it, I made sure that there was another one available, because I didn't want to just take it away from you. So when I bought it and I saw that the same seller had another one, I sent you the link right away.
Yeah.
Hello, Brian.
So this one here is, again, the True Comics, number 47 from 1946. It's the story of the atomic bomb.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
It's amazing how that story of the atomic bomb was like so allowed, because if I remember correctly, there was a 1944 Superman story that they banned them from publishing because it would hit too close to home on the atomic bomb. Luthor had built something like that. He called it a doomsday device or something, and they forced DC Comics under national security and did not publish it. And they published it, I think, in 1948 after the war, but it wasn't allowed for a while.
So this one here is an interesting book. Stephen, you might probably have seen it or read it. This one's True Comics number 30 from 1943. It has stories in there of World War II, the KKK, and Hitler.
Well, it's got the big three, but I do not have that one.
This one is in really not bad shape. And the ones that I'm showing here, I didn't pay a whole lot for. I mean, I'm not the richest person around, but I was picking this up for, and a lot of it I found like in secondhand shops. I've gone into thrift stores, and things were on the shelf, and I'd say, "Is this for sale?" And they'd say, "Oh yeah," but nobody ever looks at them and say, "Well, what do you want for the whole pile?" And I would just walk out.
That's the best way to do it.
The problem with the Ottawa area is there's only one thrift store that carries comic books.
Oh,
and
really?
I was there last weekend, and the rest of the antique shops in Ottawa are all like the old furniture and stuff from, like from the 19th century. Like there's a lot of old chairs from Parliament out there and stuff like that, but or seats from the old Ottawa Auditorium, which is where the Senators claim their last Stanley Cup. But there's not a lot of pop. I call it the pop culture.
Well, in Vancouver, they have an aviation museum, and I found a lot comic books out of that area. I'd look on their site and they'd have a listing of Golden Age comics. They were just sitting there collecting dust, and they'd say, "Hey, how much for that stack there in the corner?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know. How about $5 or $6 a piece?" I said, "Oh, I'll buy the whole lot."
Well,
Lyle,
You've seen?
but you picked up like, didn't you get like a huge thing there? They literally put them in the trash.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
I've walked at the back of some of these thrift stores, and I'm not a dumpster diver because I probably never get out of it. But I would just walk by and have a look, and there'd be garbage bags on the top that were open, and I would just lift the bag up and have a look, and it was full of comic books.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just take them and take the dirt off of the bag, and because I have an old Jeep, I could throw it in the back and I would take care of it when I got home.
You
Lyle,
got some awesome stuff that way.
Yes.
show us your last book there. Show us your last book. We're going to have to wrap up in a minute.
Okay. So this one here. Oh, my apologies.
Go ahead.
It's Tor, number 3, 1954. This was graded
Very
like a 4.5.
And that's Joe Kubert, I believe.
I beg your pardon?
I believe that's Joe Kubert.
It is. Yeah. They call it the Joe Kubert volcano eruption cover.
Yes.
Wow.
I've heard of that. I've never seen it, though. That is a pretty cool book. No, I've heard about the tour cover that was done by Joe Kubert, but I never looked it up.
Well, the number one is by him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, did you ever show the Terry Tunes?
No, he did not.
You mean
Okay,
the-
so-
Oh, you
The
mean the
super
big
big
red?
one?
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even know. I haven't dug it out yet.
I was thinking
Yeah,
the same
sure.
thing.
But,
Boy,
you know-
if I had a nickel for every time I work with a guy. I
That
work
does
with a
that
guy
a
in
lot.
comics. Yeah, I have that book. I said, really show it. Oh, I can't find it now. I said,
Well, yeah.
okay. And
Well,
for a
I'll
while,
tell you what.
I would believe it. But Big Lyle, I'm a pretty old bunny, and
I'll tell you, I did a search for it, and there's nothing.
It's hard to find, yeah.
Mhm.
It is. There was nothing. I sent messages to people that their business is selling comic books online that have, like, you'll see what their sellers' items. They got 100,000 comics in their stock, and that book is nowhere.
Hmm.
it's
No,
it's
nowhere.
as rare as hen's teeth.
Yeah. And how long ago did you buy it?
I
Just
first
last year?
saw this book this very book in 1990.
Oh,
And I procrastinated because it was quite expensive at the time. I was just new on eBay. But I loved Mighty Mouse, and I said, 384 pages? I said, I've never even heard of a comic that big.
Mhm.
And so I procrastinated long enough, and I put a couple bids, and then it got by me and it was gone. And I kicked myself. And then I think about 4 years ago now, at least 4, on eBay, I had did a search of Mighty Mouse just randomly, and this came up. And so I made it my mission to get this. I can't remember if it was like $300 or $600. I can't remember what it was, but I made it my mission to get this book because it is absolute ghost. It is it really is. It's a unicorn of a book.
it is.
And you have one of them. Is this right? Are you telling me that
Yes.
you have one of these, Lyle?
Yes.
And you're telling me this, right?
Yes. I can't say it
Okay.
with a straight face. I see everybody else looking at me like Inspector Clouseau here. Anyway, I did want to say to Alan that, if I send you too many emails or messages or
Oh,
links
it's
of
okay.
all these books, like I said, I don't know your work schedule, so I have to be careful. I'm not sending them at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You'd wake somebody up if your phone's on, right? So,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
if I-
well, it doesn't
if
beep
I-
when I get messages, so don't worry.
okay, well, that's
Lyle?
good.
I want to thank you so much for showing up tonight.
I wouldn't have missed
Thank you,
it.
Stephen and Alan, for coming as well. I really appreciate this. This was a fantastic viewing. You have an amazing collection.
You
Thank you
really
very
do,
much.
Lyle. Thank you for
Yeah,
thank
it's
you for
awesome.
showing him. And
Thank you.
also, I'd like to thank you again for showing your Phantom Mighty Mouse book. It's a pleasure. And when you're fiddling around trying to find one now to show that you have one, I wish you good luck. And when you find it, just let then we'll have a show, and we'll have you like on a Fridays. Come to our Friday special sometime.
Yeah, just
and
hang
bring books to show. Please do.
Well, I'd like that, but I didn't want to just show up unannounced. I didn't want Alan to say,
Everybody else does. Lyle,
this?"
everybody else does. Show
I'm
up.
the one that I send.
If you
I
show
go
up,
Thursday
I'll,
night.
like, I'll send you. I'll get Matt or somebody to send you an invite link.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that like a request to join? You just push it and then you.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
StreamYard. You just click on that, and then you come in, and then you're ignored
I
in the back.
know. I made that mistake a long time ago. Somebody was restoring comics and I was watching it and I thought, I don't know what, I was pushing a button to zoom in and all of a sudden the guy started yakking to me and I'm thinking, I'm not talking to anybody. How's this guy yakking back and forth to me? And here it was with a conversation like what we're doing. I'm thinking, oh my God, how do I get out of this? So,
ladies and gentlemen who have showed up tonight, I really appreciate you coming by. We are at 3:33 as of before the show, so we're only 48 away from the big giveaway we talked about last video.
Oh wow!
Come and join me next week when my guest will be Celia from Gotham and Glam. She's going to come on, and we're going to go back to our usual format with the questions and the showing of the books. So everybody, thanks for coming tonight.
You mentioned money, and then Alan ran away. Did you notice this? He's back. I know what it was. Someone called him on his phone. He says, "Please don't call me on the phone." So they call him on his phone.
Everybody have a great night.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Bye.